Good morning, everyone. I usually do put my hand in my pocket. I think it's a bad habit I've had over the years, so I won't, obviously. My name is Alain. I am from Canada, and the reason why my name is French, also I'm from Montreal, French-speaking part. I will try really hard not to speak about work, because I think work used to be what would describe me best, really. I've put a lot of time and effort in my career, I think, and I'm trying more and more to not let that define me and just be somebody who, different. So the reason why did I come here, I never heard much about Toastmasters International before. My wife, which is here, spoke to me about it, and I just thought it'd be good, very good, obviously, to get better, to get more comfortable. I think like Philip, I'm much more comfortable when I do have a presentation because of work. I have to every month. It's funny because I do this every month with 50, 60 people because I'm lead a division at work, and it's part of a monthly departmental meeting that I have to do. And I'm very, very comfortable to do my monthly departmental meeting with the 50 people that report to me. Because somehow you think you're their boss, you interact with them every day, so you're quite comfortable to do that presentation with them. But when you're taken out of that that comfort zone where you're with the people that you interact with every day, it's a little harder.
Alain, let me just stop you right there. I've noticed that you look into this direction and this. Nobody's sitting here. So
am I? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You will see it on video later on.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that. So try to establish eye contact with your audience, so that you're talking to them. Because at the moment you're talking to the flip chart and the card, I think, and we don't want that.
Really? Yeah, I thought I was all right. Thank you. No, so that's the thing. So I also once every quarter will have to present in front of maybe 200-300 people in a ballroom, as much as I work in a large hotel. And I've gotten much more comfortable with it. It used to, keep me up at night. The night before I knew I would have to speak, I would have a hard time, sleeping. I'd be much more nervous with that. But it's getting a lot easier. I've gotten, I think, a lot better than I used to be. But obviously, there's still a lot of work to go. You can, in anything you do, even in things I think I'm very good at, I know that I can always get much better. So I know how important it is to present. I know how important it is to be a good public speaker. And it does take you places, in life when you are better at it. So it's just a thought to get out of my comfort zone, do it more and more often, because I know how well it's worked for me in the past to just jump into something to get better at it. So that's why I'm here. I haven't said much else about myself. I am 46 years old. I have 2 kids. I waited very long before I actually decided to get married. I got married at 37. So I had my first child at 40, and my second at 43. So I have 2 lovely boys that are 5 and 3. And that's what really takes up a lot of my time now when I'm not working. I think that's enough about me for now.
Thank you. And please explain why you would be that animal. Are there any common characteristics with that animal and yourself? Mm-hmm. And why did you choose that animal?
Okay, yeah, that makes it more complex. But I'll try. All right, so obviously, since we have a lot of time to prepare for this, the first thing that came to my mind is I didn't choose this animal because it would relate to me, because I'm close to it or anything. I chose I would like to be a bird because I've got this fantasy that I could fly. So that's why I chose to be a bird. The life of a bird may not be that exciting somehow, because you get to eat worms and you get to eat, flies and things like this. But you got to say that being able to fly must be something amazing. Whenever anybody asks me what would be your perfect superpower, it is always that I'd like to travel back in time or have transportation, teletransportation.
Okay, let me stop you right there. There is one thing, and this goes for every one of you. Now, when you present your story, try to imitate with gestures what you're saying. I would like to fly. Comfort zone. Remember, I unleash hell on you. So go ahead. Do it again.
So no, I would, yeah, that's why I chose to be a bird, because I would like to fly.
Fly!
I would like to fly. Is that fair? Really? So yeah, I would like to fly, and I think that's the coolest thing. So that's why.
That's the coolest thing.
That is the coolest thing.
No, I want you to do it exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I would travel, I would see the world, I would be...
I would see the world.
Seriously?
Seriously.
I would see the world, I would, I would draw... Another thing I thought that would be pretty funny also would be to be a fly. Is a fly with an animal? It's an insect. It's a really bad thing to say, but how many times have you said you want to be a fly on the wall? You talked about Donald Trump earlier, you talked about Barack Obama, whoever. Being a fly on the wall in certain meetings, wouldn't that be the most amazing thing?
Why would it be the most amazing thing?
Imagine, you know what's happening. You know, I would go in the White House tomorrow to see a meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. I mean, wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall?
I would like to be Kim Jong-un.
I would like, yeah, that's my favorite animal. So, yeah, a bird more than the fly, because the fly is just a really nasty animal, but that's why I chose this. I'm not sure if I resemble the bird in any way or anything, but just for what it could afford me to do. That's why I chose this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's being very, very emotional.
I should consider that next time I choose the topics. Uplifting.
I will not speak about my dead father because I'll start crying here. So, intelligence is not enough is the topic I got, and I thought Philip did a very, very good presentation on this earlier, and I completely agree. Philip? So I'll try to take it maybe somewhere a little bit different. The emotional intelligence, if you said, obviously is extremely important, and I really, really agree with that. I work for a corporate company where they train us on this, and you get emotional intelligence trainings that are long and exhaustive and very, very important, I think. And it's been a good, really, really good thing for me in my career and in my life to go through these trainings. I think I was lucky to work for a company that takes training very, very seriously, and it really helped me to grow into a better professional and human being. But it is not enough, I agree with that. In a few exceptions, I would say, with highly intelligent people that will be able to work alone and influence the world alone. If you think of people like, I wanted to say Bill Gates, but not, who did Bill Gates copy from, Steve Jobs. People like Steve Jobs, for him maybe intelligence somehow was enough, or Bill Gates or Elon Musk, as we were discussing earlier. If you can be a researcher in a lab as well and change the world just through pure intelligence and not have to work with different people and have human interactions that are important to you, then maybe intelligence is enough. And it is very important, and it is fun to be around highly intelligent people because I think they rub off on you, you get to learn from them. And I've had that opportunity a few times, and there are few and far between really highly intelligent people that will really affect you. But I think in everyday life, or more, average, not the average, the majority of the population, it is not enough. Because we've all worked with people that are highly skilled at their jobs and that are very, very good. If they're unpleasant to be around, if people don't want to work with them, they get nothing done. And that's something that I've learned throughout my life. When I was younger, I was a lot more, driven in what I was doing, just about technical skills and trying to be good at my job. But in the process, you're rude with people, you don't build the right relationships, and you see that you get stuck in the corner where you can't really do much anymore. You have to learn that to influence people, you need to build relationships one by one. And once you learn that in your life, you're building relationships one at a time, you start to see the value of it. And when you have strong relationships at work and in life, you see how much more influence you can have on people at work, and how much work you can get done much faster. That's the biggest thing it's been for me. And I've learned that through really trial and error, and just being influenced by people that are better at it, that are smarter at it, and it's extremely, extremely important. I was doing interviews, auditions recently for a DJ you know, and we saw 15 DJs, I think, in 4 days, and there was one that came and the cables weren't all working, and he was trying to, you know, the guy comes in to do an audition for us, and I come in, and the day before everything was working fine, he comes in, the sound system wasn't working. So he was getting quite upset, and he was starting to be a little bit, you know, showing a bit of an attitude, because he looks at me, nothing's working, the cable's unplugged correctly, and he had a really bad attitude. Which I'm looking at him right away, I was like, well, you want me to hire you and you're giving me such a bad attitude right away. I don't want to work with somebody like this, right? Because they have such a bad attitude. But after 15 minutes of listening to that guy, he was by far the best that we've seen the entire week. So who did I pick? I did pick that guy, actually. Even though my colleague beside me said, the attitude guy is going to be hard to work with, it's going to be, I said, yes, but was he the best? Was he really, really good at what he did? Yes, by far was the best. So I still picked him because I believe we can work with someone, you can sit down with him and say, you know. So maybe this example goes right against what I just said, right? But I like to think that, you know, if you take, because I was like this basically when I was younger. So I like to think, you know, still give a chance to people because, you know, intelligence, skill, and you know, being good at what you do does matter, and I want to, you know, not let that influence me too much. So you have to make, you know, both are very important. Anyway, I realize I went with an example completely against, but I think you have to be smart enough to see the difference, you know, and give people benefit of the doubt and help them to overcome these things. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks.